every week, but I am so delighted to have my favourite two ladies back here, Janine, the amazing tarot by Janine, and the beautiful fairy Rachel, as I call her. Every week we keep saying what a week. It's Wednesday the 24th of March, of Mad March, it says, and lots seems to be happening, doesn't it?
Oh man.
Ooh la la.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so fantastic, because every time I sort of listen to your videos, Janine, on both Sending Ravens and Tarot by Janine, it's so brilliant because you answer so many of the questions anyway, and you just get through so much information.
Yeah.
But we've got some good ones for you today. I don't know if you've heard of a chap called Michael O'Bernicia. He's in the UK and he's launching a private legal case for pandemic fraud against Matt Hancock, Whitty, Valance and Ferguson. And I've just listened to the most brilliant interview about 3 times a day because it's so good. It's just the most uplifting thing I've heard. So what I'd like to ask you is that private prosecution going to be successful? And if so, in what sort of timescales? Because it's going to blow the lid off everything.
I think those kind of lawsuits are all over the world at this point.
Absolutely.
And yeah, it's going to be brilliant. All of these people are just not going to sit there and put up with this. Like, no matter what happens or does or doesn't happen in the US, there's no going back for how far we've got and how awake a lot of people are. There's no way it's going backwards. I really just don't see it at this point. This is like a tidal wave that went so far, it's coming on shore and there's no stopping it.
And this is just so amazing. I'll send you the link later because it's such a brilliant interview, but it's really showing how the City of London, Public Health, England, and these 4 puppets of basically the Rockefellers have sort of started the whole global situation. It's absolutely brilliant. Yeah. The evidence they've got.
Was it Mark Devlin, I think?
Yeah, the interview was with Mark Devlin. Yeah.
Have you heard of Mark Devlin?
Just briefly, a few people emailed me about this, what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So we'll look at, so you want to know what exactly is where is that going to go? And how will it affect things going forward?
Yeah, and what the implications will be. And ideally see if any timescales come up, because it could potentially be quite quick.
So excited. So Catherine has been very excited about this all day. And yes, I didn't realise I was going to be matching you with the royal blue, Janine.
Yeah, that's fun, hey?
I love it.
It's a good color.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so we've got 8, and it does look like it's coming up really quickly. It looks like they have a really good solid, obviously they got good evidence and a solid case. Let's say there's a lot of people backing who's bringing that case, so they've got a huge community of support there, and they might even gain support as they go. We've got this Ace of Cups in the middle, so it's a very heartfelt, and a lot of people are getting behind it with their emotions. So that's interesting. The thing itself's coming up as the 2 of Pentacles. So I think it's going to take a little time, even though it's coming quickly. The thing itself might take time for them to,
You're a wanted lady, Janine.
Oh yeah, that's
them.
My brother. I'll probably have to text him here and just say, I'll call you later.
Yeah.
Because I'm leaving for Vancouver in a few days and I'll be seeing him. But anyway, so we've got this 2 of this Temperance. So it feels like it's going to start or be the beginning of a lot of healing for a lot of people, because Temperance is healing. And it's also, there's a lot of spiritual clout with it. So I feel like they got the backing of the universe backing them up. So you can't go wrong when you got the backing of the universe. But they are up against some really crooked people.
Mm.
So it's not going to be a cinch. It's not going to be a cinch. So what's the outcome? Let me look. The death card and, okay, so the outcomes it'll change everything in the big picture.
Ooh.
So everything, so the death card, so slowly but surely change everything. So this, things like this might never happen again,
Good.
Good.
right? So it looks like it'll change the law really, or put in place something going forward that something like this could never be pulled on us again.
Hooray.
Things will have to go through some certain scientific proof might be nice, right? Before they lock the world down, to actually prove there's actually something that big of a danger to humans. You know what I mean? Something like that. They're going to have things in place going forward with this. So yeah, this is big work and very healing, and could change, everything with that death card and the judgment. That's like, going forward, they'll never be able to pull this. I feel like this was the last ditch, sort of the big crescendo of the dark and the deep cult, the dark, deep state, dark cult, whatever. Those two are one and the same to me. I feel like this is their last crescendo, and or their big chance. They saw it as this huge chance to take over and just take everything away from everybody. And it's not going to work. It's not been working. And they're going to get squashed. And yeah, that's a good thing.
That's amazing.
Around like a little Easter bunny today. I've been so excited by this. So yeah, it's best news I've had for ages, I must say. So thank you, Michael Benacia and your team. And yeah, we're all very grateful and we're all supporting you. Thank you, Janine. That's really good.
Yeah, I just remember when we did that session a few weeks ago, and we were talking about flattening the curve. I think it was just a couple of weeks, 5 days of flattening the curve. And
yeah.
I think you said, Catherine, I said, I know what I'd like to flatten, and it's not the curve.
Yeah, exactly.
Stay with me.
Oh,
Brilliant.
Yeah, I do feel things are shifting. I can feel big shifts going on. Can you?
Oh yeah. Actually, from the 20th, really a big something was going, like we've been feeling for a long time, but I just feel like we were at that very top of the roller coaster looking down, and now we're on our way down, I think.
Yeah.
I think some big stuff's going to happen in the next week, which I was also getting that on Esoteric Atlanta with Bryce and Tom Numbers guy.
Yeah.
Like it's things are happening.
Yeah, absolutely. As long as we don't have to live with all these sheepy people any longer. It's such a divided world, isn't it?
It's just very divided. It's like two different realities and timelines.
Exactly.
And it's almost impossible to have a conversation with people that aren't awake. So I've been avoiding it, even though I love some of those people and I miss them, but it's like it'll get me into an argument. I'm just not going to do it, or I just get too upset.
It did. I was just before you came on, I was telling Rachel about my experience today, and I think that I've developed Tourette's because it's really impossible to actually have a conversation with people that aren't aware. I find it very, very difficult to have that conversation without swearing.
Yeah.
I'll be in rehab for that when this is all come out. So.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you. Brilliant.
That's really good news, actually. I think they were fabulous cards.
Yeah, they were.
I think the next question, Janine, and thank you so much. There is a £5,000 fine if you go on holiday abroad. They've imposed to the UK, which is so nice. There's additional lovely tax for the UK population. And so people they're just abiding. They're just saying yes, yes, yes to all these things. Fined for going out for a walk with a Costa coffee, £200. The fines are endless. It's ridiculous. You can't.
What a cash grab! What a cash grab!
Yeah, cash cows.
Unbelievable. I'm really looking forward to when everybody starts questioning their income tax. Okay, if anybody ever comes questioning mine, I'm gonna tell them I don't consent to any of it. In fact, they owe me for shopping my birth certificate for my entire life.
Yeah.
And everything they did to, since I now have Indigenous status, our family got our Indigenous status. Okay. So now they owe me for generations of genocide. Okay. That's what I'll be telling them.
Wow. Well, it's all
They can-
taxes, isn't
They
it?
can go stick it.
Yeah.
Their taxes. I think everybody is gonna, that's a wave coming, that
Yeah.
all of these bankrupt corporations that used to be countries, I think they messed themselves up there because everybody's onto it now. There's so many videos explaining exactly how they did it. People will not stay quiet about that. That is going to be the big wave that bites all of these corporations in the butt. Like, I do not consent to Canadian corporation. They can, you know what?
Oh yes.
They can stick it where the sun does not shine.
Yeah.
I just have to say,
We're all
you know.
empowered. We're all like, we're becoming empowered. And this is, I think, was the whole idea.
Yeah.
I really do.
Well, it just has to be so blatantly obvious, except people just don't wake up with even the most blatant of things. I mean, being charged £5,000 to go on holiday when you vaccinated 23, what's the number? 23 million in this country, or already in this country. This is the numbers. Now, whether that's true or not, I don't know.
And the vaccinated people, it applies to vaccinated people and the unvaccinated. So the vaccinated people aren't allowed to go either, unless you're an elite sports person or
on business
person,
or you've got a second holiday home abroad that you've got to go and sort out. So it's basically a get out of jail card for the elite and the us useless eaters.
Unbelievable. Okay, so kicking the middle class and everybody else to the curb. Just kick them.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Everybody who's not an elite is just getting curbed. Like that. If that doesn't wake up the sleepers, I don't know what would.
Exactly.
It's going to make people really angry. What was your question around it, Rachel?
The fine was £5,000 fine, and I was wondering what if we can have a look at the energetics behind it. I understand, obviously, they want to break the middle class, and we're the most dangerous threat to them because we don't want to be millionaires. But yeah.
Unbelievable.
I take the squirrel.
Yeah. But yeah, if we can have a look at the energetics behind this £5,000 fine, it's ridiculous, utterly ridiculous.
Okay, it looks like another wake-up call, because the world they don't really expect to have to enforce it secretly, though. There's a secret reason why they did it, and it's not what it appears. And it's all about taking your fun away, because they thought, okay, if they take all your fun away, you're going to start uprising about this. You're going to start yelling about it. And that was the idea. The desired outcome is the ace of wands, so that's fire. So to get everybody riled up, they're actually trying to rile you up. They're trying to wake up the sleepers.
Wow.
So they're trying to show you this is what the world will look like if you keep sleeping and letting these guys rule the world, which of course I don't think is going to happen anymore. I think we're already past that fear. I think, but they want to show you what's been avoided.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean?
I've
been getting that all along.
Yeah, yeah.
It sounds crazy, but it's what the consistent answer is. They're trying to wake everybody up.
Come on, sleepy people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hurry up, slap them.
Yeah.
Bucket of water over them. Do something.
Where do we start?
Fantastic. Okay.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
So my question is a little bit of a backward thing, but it's one I've had so many people ask me to ask because there's been lots of conflicting information on this over the last week. The quantum financial system, who is currently in charge of it? Is it the white hats or the black hats? Because there's been lots of videos coming out about the fact that it's been launched in China, which obviously raises alarm bells.
You guys hear that? I got a great big truck parked right outside this window.
No.
Idling really loud.
No idea.
Oh, good. Okay. So the quantum financial system, who's in charge of that? Ace. So there's a lot of disinformation been put out about that. It's like the good guys are in charge of it, it looks like, but the bad guys are using and or trying to smear the name of it. So they're coming up with all of this stuff, and I think that Kim's part of this misinformation. Okay, I don't trust her at all energetically, and the more I look into her, and I don't even care what anybody else thinks. That's what I get. But I didn't like her right off the bat. But what I get is there's a whole group of people trying to use the term quantum financial system and use the term Jasara Nasara, using these terms in the negative sense. So it's been all hijacked, just like Black Lives Matter got hijacked, just like that's their MO. Okay, deep state dark. They have no imagination. Okay, they have no imagination, and they literally piggyback off humans, our essence energetically, and that includes our imagination, what we can come up with, and they're just utilizing those words to try to turn them into, so people will be suspicious of them. Okay, they're just trying to steal and piggyback, and they don't actually come up with their own stuff. They literally just are piggybacking. It's like, if you think about it, they utilized Catholicism and stole the idea of Christianity and turned it into a secret dark cult underlying what was supposed to be Catholicism. And they did that to lots of religions. Yeah. Apparently, the higher up you go in Jehovah's Witnesses, the more dark cult it gets.
Really?
So that I'm sure there's really lots of nice Jehovah Witnesses that think they're actually good Christians, but when you go higher up, it's all been hijacked. So has like that fellow that was on Aquarius Rising Africa, that fellow recently who spoke well of Kim, by the way, this woman that says she's in charge of the whole quantum system, and she releases the funds and the money, and she has this great big job. Well, she might have an important job, as I didn't get, she didn't. She does have an important job, I think, but I don't think she's working for the team she says she is. And this guy was saying he was brought up in Jehovah Witness family. He didn't want to speak ill of them, but he was literally MK Ultra'd his whole life, and he just figured it out like 10 years ago, and he's like in his late 40s or 50s. Right? So he doesn't even probably know the extent of how he's been messed with, which might also speak to why he might think Kim was okay. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, he's got a lot of healing to do, but he did have a lot of really great information. I'm not trying to discredit him. And he was definitely a victim of the cult. And he was talking out about it. So that was awesome. All of that's awesome.
Well, high up in the Catholics is the Pope, isn't it? And we all know what the Vatican is all about.
Yeah. So the higher you go up in organized religion, the higher you go up in anything, the more elite you get in anything, it looks like it's all been hijacked. That they own all of it, like the bad guys kind of thing. Maybe lots of groups of bad guys, but they all got the same intention, which is basically to rule the world and kick us all to the curb. Unless you're their slaves. So you got two options: either slave or get off the earth plane, is what they sort of had in mind, is what I figured.
Exactly. Yeah.
Not anymore. They're going down. Yeah.
What's that?
I said not anymore. They're going down.
Yeah, they're going down.
They've gone down. Yeah, fantastic. Thank you.
We can do our little happy dance. Told you. Told you. Tried.
Yeah. That was a good happy dance. I like it.
Okay, so 21st of June in the UK is supposed to be our Freedom Day. I'd love to have a look at, are they going to steal our freedoms before then or after then? But that is the date that they've given us, basically. It would be great to find out that they're not going to muck around.
What do you mean by Freedom Day?
As in end of lockdown, we're allowed to walk out of our houses and actually meet and have a hug with somebody. Well, I think we're allowed to hug.
Everything opens up. 21st of June is the final opening up of everything.
Okay, so when you think about it, what they just told the bug, if there really was ever one, which of course we know it's been manipulated, so what they just gave it the heave ho on that day. They gave it its walking papers. Like, does that even make any common sense? Sorry, I just had to say that.
Yeah, no, it makes no common sense. I think their argument is it's to do with the V rollout, the
right, okay,
rollout,
right.
So that's their excuse. Yeah.
Okay.
And if you but at the moment, if you in fact, you can't even do this. You can't even go to the pub and have a drink, or no restaurants are open, no hotels are open, nothing. You can't go camping, you can't go anywhere on holiday, even if you wanted to. But when you were allowed to, you had to drink a meal or eat a meal, sorry, in order to have an alcoholic drink, a glass of wine or beer or things. But, you know,
where did they come up with this stuff?
I know exactly. I said, this is ridiculous. Well, you definitely can't catch a virus if you have a meal and a drink. But if you have a drink on its own, you are in danger of catching this virus. Yeah, it's people buy it.
My goodness.
How the hell do they buy it?
I really am going to have a lot of fun on Instagram, not that I don't already, and other places with memes about how silly everybody's been and how could they even buy this? How was that even, like, do we got a bunch of silly people out there? It's horrifying.
My mum said to me, you're not allowed to meet with more than 6 people outside, you know, at the moment. And I said, no, because the 7th one definitely has COVID.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I tell people, you know, the one sure way to get, you know, the disease is watching any mainstream media. That'll give it to you for sure.
Absolutely.
That's pretty much the only way actually to get it.
That is the disease, though.
It's exactly the disease. Okay, so we've got 10 and 3 and the hanged man and
hangman.
Okay, it might even be sooner.
Yay!
So I feel like just be patient, because this is the advice from the universe, is patience, because there's unexpected things coming that could drop everything. It's like that thing we always get, where all of a sudden we're over here dealing with something totally different. The whole world's paying attention over there. Everyone dropped everything that was going on over here because the gig's up. The gig's up. So I feel like this could stop sooner than that even. So at least certainly by then, but I think sooner.
Wow.
Hope so. I want to go and see my daughter in America.
Yeah.
If anyone's got a dragon I could borrow to fly over on, that would be really helpful. Thank you. A strong one with strong winds that can make it across the ocean.
Yeah.
It would be anti-gravity flying mobiles all over the place, though, won't we?
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's like a little train that gets to America in a couple of minutes, isn't there?
Underground. Apparently.
Yeah, I want to go under there, thank you. I'd rather go on the dragon. The next one is another one. I've been really nice to all the kind listeners that have watched all our videos and asked me to ask this. So the Scottish people are feeling a bit left out because we haven't covered Scotland yet.
Right.
So there's a lot of rumours going around about Nicola Sturgeon and about whether she is on the dark side and if the Scottish people are going to soon revolt up against it all.
Okay. So that person is a woman?
Yeah,
Nicola?
well, supposedly.
You never know these days.
You just don't know.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, the dark cult, they like to raise them with the opposite sex, which is very bizarre.
And what about those pictures of Will and Kate, where Will had about like this really wide nose at the bottom?
But his is dainty.
And yeah, it was so obviously not his nose. That was not him. And even the body language of Kate. So they were both wearing green, and they were saying happy Irish Day. What is it? St. Patrick's Day. They were saying that in that video, and I couldn't believe how obvious it was that it wasn't William.
Oh, wow, like, I'll have to watch that. I haven't seen
Oh yeah, his nose is all wrong. And then I started looking at several recent ones, and that guy's in a lot of them. Right. The nose is wrong. And if the camera gets it right, you could make it so obvious.
I wish someone had changed my nose on camera. I'd be quite happy if someone wants to substitute mine. Feel free.
Oh, you're perfect. What are you talking about? You gals are, you girls are gorgeous.
Distinct nose is the way you say it.
So we got 10.
We've all got things we don't like about ourselves. We're imperfectly perfect at the end of the day, or even at the beginning of the day.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got say how we asked it again. We wanted to know if they were on the dark side.
Is Sturgeon on the dark side, and are the people of Scotland going to revolt up against her?
The uprising.
Well, if she was on the dark side, she has moved over to the good side. So I'm not sure, maybe she's doing what we got Boris Johnson was doing for a while. Okay, which was, the last time I checked in on him, he was working for the good guys, but he was being a bad guy, showing you how bad the bad guys can be. She might be doing the same. Because it looks like she was on the fence. So she's been on, she didn't know what she was really. And I wouldn't say she's literally deep state per se, but she could be swayed over in the past. Now she's independent, but working for the good guys for now, because that's where she thinks she's safe. So she might be kind of putting out, similar to Boris Johnson, what he was doing, where they're showing you what it looks like, you know, what deep state government looks like. They're showing it really obviously. And they're doing that in Canada too. I feel like she's actually on the good side though, like for now. But with a card like this, she's kind of fickle, right? She's more about, here's what she's really about, her own self. So wherever she thinks she's going to be safe and paid, that's where she is.
Yeah.
So because she's kind of working on the good side, she may end up keeping safe because of that, for the most part, right? Because I don't get her literally deep state, like, but she'd go wherever she felt safe, right? Which is unfortunate, and sort of the personality of most people higher up in politics, from what I can gather.
Yeah, well, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's become a dangerous place because of selfish people like that, though.
Yeah.
It's not for the good of humanity.
I don't think they let you up there unless you're that kind of person. You're not getting up to wherever she got to.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I'd rather not be there then. That's why that's why we're feared.
Yeah. But I think that's what's going to change. I really think going forward, we're going to have to redo that. We're going to change that.
Absolutely. Fantastic.
Amazing. I'm trying to remember what our next question was. I haven't written it down. Could you help me out here, Catherine?
I don't know what your next one was. Shall I, whilst I'm looking at it, shall I look at my next one?
Yes.
My final one was, I've seen today, and I don't know whether it's today or yesterday, probably yesterday, that the fencing around the White House has been taken down.
Yep.
Could we find out, could we ask what the energetics behind that, what's going on with that?
So interesting you asked that, because today the video that I put up, so I did it last night, was after I watched a video on Rumble that was exactly talking about that. So this woman goes through point for point everything that's happened and points out that it's actually a good thing that the wire's coming down, because it means the military do not feel threatened because they're ready to make a move. And that they've got somebody in place, which what I got was that Richard guy who was said to be in place on Google was actually a slip, because it's actually true. So I feel like because of that, it's more, it makes it official that they've got who they need, they've got what they need in place. And it looks like it's things are coming down this kind of week. I was thinking in the next 8 hours or days from when the video was done. So it must be days, unless it's happening right now, but that things are going to start happening really quick with the military finally. And that's what this lady was saying. It was brilliant the way she explained it. But let's look at the cards just to see specifically, is it a good thing for the rest of the humans? Okay, not for the bad guys, for the good people, that the wire's coming down. And if we get a yes, that goes to that lady was saying. This lady on Rumble, I can't remember what her I said it on my video what the site was on Rumble.
But it was a good thing.
She put it up on March 20th, so everybody could go to March 20th on her site and find it.
Are you looking at it?
Yeah, I'm going to look at, is it for our advantage that wire's coming down? Because some people are worried about it, right? Or is it for our disadvantage? And that should get us to the right place, right?
True.
Okay, so it says it speeds up the end. It speeds up the end result, something we've been waiting for and all the hard work and all that. Yeah, so it's speeding things up. It's been, it being up was because there was indecision. And this is what she was saying. There was indecision with the military on what to do. And you know how Juan O'Sabin's always saying, okay, the military has to make a move once they discover, and it's been proven that all the avenues have been searched out in the US and nothing's worked. Nobody would look at the situation that happened, okay, with the shenanigans around November 3rd. Okay, so yes, it's absolutely to the advantage of us. Yeah. Yeah, this is good. It's for the people. It's for the people. It means we're safe. So the bad guys have been somehow dealt with, even if it's just in the background that we don't know about. Also, it means, you know, they got things in place with the military that's going to become more official, something like that. It's a good thing. It's for our advantage. So the wire coming down means they're not feeling, they don't have a threat anymore.
Yeah. Well, there was wasn't there a percentage of the military that we looked at that was literally, they had to weed them out?
Yeah.
Because they're essentially spies.
I looked at that also in that reading, and I got that they're 80% going forward. And so 80% better than, there was a whole third that weren't on board. Now it's 20% maybe undecided or whatever, but it feels like they can go ahead with what they have.
Yay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. Yes.
And if Janine's got time, Rachel, I remembered your last question. It was about the sun.
Well, there was flipping loads of questions, aren't there? I mean, there's so much happening. Like there's have you done anything just recently about the satellites? So there was a load of, it looked like meteorite storms coming out of the skies was it last night? Because I was watching all the videos this morning about it. And they're saying that it's the satellites that they're taking out, the deep state satellites, basically. And then essentially the media can be taken down much quicker with these satellites that they're kind of destroying and taking out of the sky.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, I know. I was so excited. But then I was like, oh, we need Janine to have a look at the energetics of this, because that would be.
So who was saying that? Where were you getting that?
Well, it was on quite a few different Telegram channels, and it was from all different places. There was 5 videos from around the world, but there were some which were quite a few different looked like meteorites coming in, and then there was some where there were just one, but you know they could have been filmed at any point by anybody, and you know whether they're messed with. I mean, you can't believe it.
We're going to ask if that information is correct around
taking the satellites out.
Deep state meteorites coming down,
yeah.
Or satellites.
Yeah,
satellites. Yes,
that's a really good one.
Oh, okay, first card. Wish comes true to do with the bad guys. Ooh. So wish comes true. So our wish is that these guys' satellites come down. Yes.
Yeah.
Trust.
It's true.
Surrender. And yeah, so okay. So it's saying that's the desire, okay, to do that. But they're not, it's not as far along as they're letting you believe. It's like those lists. I think it's the thing they're going to do, and they're jumping the gun and maybe creating some video footage to go along with it. It's coming.
Yeah.
It's something they're going to do, but I don't think you literally saw it in action with those videos. It's the desire, and they will get it done. Yes, so this is a yes, but it's not that you weren't watching it being done somehow, or it was exaggerated.
Wasn't the real McCoy? That is a
shame.
shame.
So maybe they're doing that for disinformation. Bad guys watching, thinking all their satellites are coming down.
Yes.
You know, like people were sending me things about Sidney Powell and how she withdrew her lawsuit and all the stuff she was saying about basically throwing the whole thing under the bus. And come on, like, she would never do that. She's a May 1st, watching out for, and don't buy into it, is that he had all bad people around him, and there's like all these other people that are known as truthers are putting this forward. So I think it's misinformation. So the bad guys don't know how messed, like they're truly at their last moment. Yeah. Okay, so I feel like it gives them false hope, because they're putting this story out that Trump got totally thrown under the bus by all his people, and he's totally screwed, and he doesn't have any more moves. That's what they've been saying. Okay, every time I look at it, that's not the case. So what I think they're doing is they're just saying that because the bad guys are watching all these channels, and there's no way they're going to, he's not the type to just throw in his towel like that because somebody screwed him over, excuse my language. But I mean, I don't see that personally, just knowing his actions all these years, but also I don't see it in the cards. So I think it's just remember, we're at the very last part like a war, an information war. So they're going to use information going, everybody's slinging information, not bombs, thank goodness, but they're slinging stories. And most of them are so absurd. You're like, okay, just stay centered and calm and keep watching. It'll sort itself out. It's all you can do, really.
Practice your happy dance of I told you so.
Visualize the best outcome for the human race, because that'll help manifest it, right?
But do you want to ask the question about the sun one, Catherine?
No, because I didn't really see that.
This was something else that was shared on Telegram, and it was picture of
two suns.
No, it was actually that the girl had basically videoed. It was in the UK because she had a British accent, and she was videoing the sky, but it came to a point in the sky and everything just kind of wobbled, and it was almost like the rays of the sun were changing, or the energetics, because people have been talking about the real sun is going to start to appear. And the rays in which we actually get from the original sun, whatever the original sun was, because maybe we never knew it, is actually evolving or changing, and it's being unmasked. So
I got a story about that.
Oh, really?
So 2 days ago, I was driving. I stopped and took a picture of it, but it doesn't really show up on the photo. But I literally saw two suns. And remember that Gene Decode was talking about that. Okay, and he put up a picture that he took. I saw the exact thing he saw. So there was a sun fully round, not as bright though, and then the setting sun right below it. Two suns, and one literally just looked like just a lesser value of the other one. So it must have been further away. It wasn't as bright. But they were literally one above the other, and it wasn't the moon because it was way too big. And I know what the moon looks like when it's in the sky. And also the moon isn't fully full right now, so it couldn't have been the moon. And I'd seen the moon earlier that day, just like about a third of it was showing. Anyway, this was two suns, literally one below the other, exactly one above the other. And I took a picture because I was like, oh my goodness, it's exactly what Gene Decode. He got a better picture of it though, but it was exactly the same visual. Wow. So there's something going on with the sun.
Yeah.
You better believe it.
We could do
when I did that
in the UK.
Meeting, what's that?
We could do with some more of the real sun over in the UK, please.
Yeah. Like I got a feeling with everybody talking about vitamin D being the big cure, really. And by the way, ever since this whole thing started and I just got wind of that, I intuitively latched onto it, and I've been feeding everybody in my household that, and myself every single day.
Brilliant.
Yeah. And it's it's just like, it makes sense. So, and also if you think about it, we've been told that the sun is bad for us and stay out of it, and put a bunch of stuff on that's been proven to actually cause more trouble, like lathering ourselves with sun cream and stuff. Like, I got a feeling we've been totally hoodwinked again.
Yeah. Or slather your face in a nappy.
Yeah, like just don't go in the sun. Like we've been hearing that for years, and it's like, you know what? I got a feeling that's just the opposite of. Exactly. I think we've been hoodwinked. Guess what? Yeah, I'm not buying it anymore. I'm not buying any of it. But let's have a look at the whole, just around the sun, and has something changed recently? What can we expect? Let's just do that.
Oh yeah. We want the sunshine.
Yeah, bring it on. Bring it on, I say.
Absolutely. It's a happy drug though. It's a vitamin D2. Oopsie daisy. It's antidepressant, isn't it?
Certainly. Yeah.
You know what's really interesting? Okay, this is another thing I remember happening. It was really obvious too. Okay. When this whole thing came out, and everyone originally were talking about zinc could be really good for something like this. Okay, So I remember going to a certain drugstore, it was a large drugstore, like, I forget which one. Anyway, and a chain of drugstores. I went to one and I saw what I remember right after the idea of zinc came out, they loaded their shelves with zinc. Okay. Then I went back to get the zinc because I noted that was, oh, there's lots of zinc. I'll come back, and I can't remember why I didn't buy it that day. Then I came back about 2 days later and they out of it. And I said, did you sell out the zinc? No, we were told to take it off the shelves. I was like,
Oh my God.
what? But then I went to several other places and they'd all taken the zinc off the shelves. You
Wow.
couldn't get zinc anywhere in Calgary for a while. And I'm like, what is going on? So who would do that? Large organizations that stand to lose if everybody's healthy. Okay, so if zinc's going to be a good thing to take, get it off the shelves. Can you imagine? And the lady was totally baffled. She said, I don't know why, but we were told, like she told me the truth. She said, we were told to take it off the shelves. We can't sell you zinc. I was like, oh, is that ever obvious? These are the kind of things that are going to bring the lawsuits.
Give it to me now then. Give it to me free. If you can't sell it to me, give it away.
Yeah.
Well,
Unbelievable. Right. Zinc's actually pretty reasonably priced anyway. Like you can, right? So all of a sudden, all of these easy fixes, and we know the other ones, right? They're not available now, right? Like it's just such a scam. If people don't wake up to stuff like that, like in retrospect, it's going to be really fun kind of talking about that to everybody.
Absolutely. And I think vitamin C being injected intravenously cures a heck of a lot of things. And, even if you've been poisoned with a spider, snake, all the rest of it. But guess what? It's illegal.
Yeah.
It's illegal in America. It's illegal in Canada. It's illegal in 90% of the European countries. Mexico.
Yet they can sell opioids and hand them out and get everybody hooked on that. Interesting. Fascinating.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? And that was in fact, Catherine taught me that in 2015, and that was my first rude awakening to the pharmaceutical industry and doctors, and never trusted them ever since, and always known that something completely and utterly upside down with this world.
Just the fact that it's an industry, a zillion-dollar industry, tells you everything you need to know about it. They don't care about your body. Since when does an industry care about you as a human?
Exactly.
You being sick is making them a lot of money. Okay, so we got the Wheel of Fortune in the past. So something came along that was destined and might seem like out of the blue, but actually it's like a destined thing. So the sun was destined to change at this time. This could have something to do with that big polar shift people talked about. I don't know, like, because that's sort of astrological or destined.
Yeah.
Maybe it
was choking to death.
Maybe the shift kind of brought forward this new.
Sorry, Rachel's just dying in the background.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Rachel's just choking on her water.
Rachel, are you okay?
No, sorry, Janine. Yeah, we were listening. It was just quite funny to watch Rachel die in the background.
I know, I'm sorry, I went peachy pink.
Oh no, are you okay?
Yeah. Okay. I got a frog in my throat, and then I was trying to listen to what you said, and I didn't want to be rude and not listen.
Oh, be rude. Whatever's happening, it's going to be helpful. But it's speeded up. This is a really well after. This could be a bad part, but it's really well after next 3 days. So something's coming that's really good for us, especially and weirdly, emotionally with the sun. So there's something healing and emotionally healing with it. I mean, but we need a lot of, okay, good. Because we need a lot of that after this whole last, many years of being manipulated, and people finding out about that's going to be very hurtful. Like the people that haven't figured it out yet, just wait till they feel like they've been duped.
Mm.
You know, like my parents putting all their faith in the government and the health system, and finding out they've been duped and couldn't spend Christmas with my mom's favorite time of the year is Christmas. And she didn't see any of her kids, and she was so sad, but they thought they were doing the right thing. And like, you know, really it's been a year since they saw my son, who's graduating this year. And now that they've got the, you know what, thing in the arm. Okay, so they got that, and they're all excited. They get to see their grandkids again. It's like, okay, right. Oh. Anyway, so yeah, something's changing to the good. That'll bring better sunlight, more intense.
Wow.
It's like I was getting this in another reading too, where I literally saw, and I didn't even know anything about this yet, but I literally said something about sunshine and two suns, and I was just talking stuff like that. I didn't even know what I was talking about. And then afterwards, Gene Decode comes out and says, yeah, there's a whole nother sun behind this sun, and it's starting to show itself.
Wow. And
it's just timing. It might be part of the whole dimensional shift. And
exactly. Yeah. I don't know if you've ever seen that photograph. It's a photograph of a cat on a computer, and it says the caption of I just went online to look for a recipe, and 6 hours later I found out that the earth was flat.
It's brilliant. Yeah, I'm not even going down that rabbit hole yet.
No, it's too much. It's like, can't cope with that.
There's too many rabbit holes, isn't there, really? I mean, it's just a myriad. I mean, how much can you learn in 1 year and completely blow your mind utterly?
Yeah, you just need to do it in degrees. Like if that's really the case, which of course it could be, right? But I don't want to know about it just yet, because that's like for a later date. Let's just deal with, you know, the whole world's been ruled by dark cult deep staters, and we can't trust anybody really except our own intuitions. And you know what I mean? Let's just start there.
Yeah, exactly. Don't want to overdo it. So, well, that's some really good news, isn't it? We've had some really, really positive things, you know, across the globe, sort of that. So let's hope that Joanna Savin's date of things becoming clear by the 1st of April are going to be held to.
Please.
Oh, thank you so much, Janine and Rachel. And Janine, have an amazing time on your trip.
Thanks.
And see your daughter and brother and everything. That would be fantastic.
Yeah.
Are you going to do some of your like nice impromptu videos when you're
Absolutely. Yeah. Even on the way, I was thinking I would do one driving through the mountains, because I'm literally going 11 hours and most of it's mountain.
Oh my God, how beautiful.
So it's an incredible drive. So it's a really good thing. I've got this great, well, it's new to me car. It's 2018, but it's a beautiful Volvo cross country.
Lovely.
And it's just a sweetheart, and I can't wait. But actually, what am I talking about? Because I'm driving my Jeep because I'm helping move. So I kept the Jeep because I knew it would come in handy. Brilliant. Yeah, so never mind. Scrap that. I'll have to do the mountain drive with the Volvo another time.
Yeah, well,
always an excuse.
Welcome. Yeah. When you do the mountain drive with the Volvo, we'll come with you.
Yay!
So on my
road trip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, thank you so much. Have an amazing week, everyone. And we will get this up as soon as possible.
Yay.